Prabhupada ki
Jai.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद विष्णु भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Jai.
नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai.
हिंसको श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
Jai.
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
Jai.
गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। वृंद देवी की जय। श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled Sri Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Sri Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Sri Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Guru Shri Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, please accept my most respectful obeisances. Thank you so much again for giving this opportunity to serve all of you and serve Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of Lord Shri Krishna and all the Vaishnavas. Please bless so the right words come in the right mood. So we'll start today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Tirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Nuttama Shloke नैष्टके शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्तोऽप्यभद्राणि विधिनोति सुहृत्सताम्। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1 and Text 3. Raja Uvacha Kutra Shattorбhagavata Maitreya Sangamaha Kada Vasaha Samvada Etat Varnayanaha Prabho Kutra Shattorбhagavata Maitreya Sangamaha Kada Vasaha Samvada Etat Varnayanaha Prabho कुत्र शक्तोर्भगवता मैत्रेयेण ससङ्गमः कथा वा सह संवादा एतद् वर्णयनः प्रभो। Devotees.
Raja Uvacha Kutra Kshaturbhagavata Maitreyeena Sasangamaha Kada Vasaha Sampada Etad Varnayana Prabho. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rajo Vacha Putra Chaturbhagavata Maitrayani Sangamaha Kadava Saha Samvada Etad Varnayanaha Prabho. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We can go for synonyms. Raja Uvacha, the king said, Kutra, wherein, Shatuhu, with Vidura, Bhagavata, and with his grace, Maitreyena with Maitreya. Asha there was. Sangamaha meeting. Katha when. Va also. Saha with. Samvada discussion. Etat this. Varnaya describe. Naha unto me. Prabho, O my Lord. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace. Abhay Charanavindesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The king asked Sukadev Goswami, where and when did the meeting and discussion takes place between Saint Vidura and His Grace Maitreya Muni? Kindly oblige, my lord, and describe this to us. Purport. Exactly as Shaunaka Rishi inquired of Suta Goswami, and Suta Goswami replied, so Srila Sukadev Goswami replied to King Parikshit's inquiries. The king was very anxious to understand the meaningful discussion that took place between the two great souls. Text 4. Nahi alpartodhayastasya vidurasya malatmanaha tasmin varyasi prashnaha sadhuvadhopam vrimhitaha. Synonyms. Na, never, he, certainly. Alpa artha, small, unimportant purpose. Udayaha, raised. Tasya, his. Vidurashya, of Vidura. Amala Atmanaha, of the saintly man. Tasmin, in that. Varyasi, highly purposeful. Prashnaha, question. Sadhuvada, things approved by saints and sages. Upabramhitaha, full with. Translation. Saint Budra was a great and pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his questions to his Rishi Maitreya must have been very purposeful, on the highest level, and approved by learned circles. Purpose. Questions and answers among different classes of men have different value. Inquiries by mercantile men in a business exchange cannot be expected to be highly purposeful in spiritual values. Questions and answers by different classes of men can be guessed by the caliber of the persons concerned. In Bhagavad Gita, the discussion was between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, the supreme person and the supreme devotee, respectively. The Lord admitted Arjuna to be his devotee and friend. Bhagavad Gita 4.3. And therefore, any sane man can guess that the discussion was on the topic of the Bhakti Yoga system. Actually, the whole Bhagavad Gita is based on the principle of Bhakti Yoga. There is a difference between karma and karma yoga. Karma is regulated action for the enjoyment of fruit by the performer. But karma yoga is action performed by the devotee for the satisfaction of the Lord. Karma yoga is based on bhakti or pleasing the Lord, whereas karma is based on pleasing the senses of the performer himself. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one is advised to approach a bona fide spiritual master when one is actually inclined to question from an elevated level of spiritual understanding. A common man who has no interest in spiritual values has no need to approach a spiritual master just as a matter of following fashion. As a student, Maharaj Parikshit was serious about learning the science of God, and Sukadev Goswami was a bona fide spiritual master in the transcendental science. Both of them knew that the topics discussed by Vidura and Rishi Maitreya were elevated, and thus Maharaj Parikshit was very interested in learning from the bona fide spiritual master. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपेश कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विषधारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। Hare Krishna. So, um, so what we are seeing here, so let me read the translation again from the third verse. The king asked Sukadeva Goswami, where and when did the meeting and discussion take place between Saint Vidura and His Grace Maitreya Muni? Kindly oblige my lord and describe this to us. So we know like now actually Vidura, he left the kingdom because of Duryodhana's insulted words, and then he took that as an opportunity, and he left the palace and he went to the forest. And in the forest, he wanted to actually he want to hear from Uddhava, because Uddhava and Maitreya Muni, they both heard from Lord Krishna. So he wanted to hear from Uddhava, but Uddhava, because Maitreya Muni is the elder person, so there is a Maryada Vyatikrama, so that should be followed. If someone is an elderly person, so then we should respect them and give them opportunity for them to speak. So in that manner, like Uddhava said, you can listen from Maitreya Muni. And then, so now Vidura started asking Maitreya Muni the questions. So now Sukadeva Goswami, so Parikshit Maharaj is very much interested in knowing what is the discussion between these two great souls. Because Parikshit Maharaj is a great devotee, and he definitely knows that whatever the discussion happened between two great devotees must be definitely it is the topics of Krishna. They will not discuss anything else, right? So that is the reason that Sukadeva Goswami particularly asked, so what is that actually they both speak. So here Prabhupada says in this purport that exactly as Shaunaka Rishi inquired Sutta Goswami, and Sutta Goswami replied. So similarly, Sukadeva Goswami is also replying to King Parikshit Maharaj's inquiries. And in the next verse, in text 4, it is mentioned that how Saint Vidura is also a pure devotee, and definitely, therefore, there is some reason will be there. There is a very higher purpose of that question will be there. So if we get to know what question he asked, so then we can able to relate like when answer comes, so then we know what is a purpose, higher purpose. Definitely there should be a higher purpose because Vidura is a great devotee. And so Srila Prabhupada start the purport that how the symptom of a devotee, how we can understand, right? So here Prabhupada says that the question and answers by different classes of men can be guessed by the caliber of the person's concern. So what is the caliber of a person? So just by understanding their question, we can understand what level they are, or what kind of question they are asking. So we can easily understand or guess like what kind of a person they are. So that's why here the example Prabhupada give that a businessman, if two businessmen meet, it is very clear what they will discuss, how they can improve the business, how they can improve a lot of money, how they can acquire a lot of money. So that's what they will discuss. And if two sick person discuss what they will discuss, oh, this disease is there, that disease is there, how, what is the treatment and what is the treatment, that's what they will discuss. And same thing, if a two politician meet, they will discuss about the politics. So there is no higher purpose in their discussion. There will be definitely no higher purpose. So from this, actually King Parikshit is teaching what is a symptom of a devotee. So a devotee means, like how we discussed earlier, that a devotee means it's not that 800 rupees devotee, right? So we go and get some dhoti kurta and sari and put the tilak, and so we can, it's not just by external appearance that we become a devotee. And of course, that is also necessary and mandatory, because that actually, the way that we dress, and that actually speaks, or speaks our mood and our character. So it is very important, of course external also, but not just external is important, the internal is also important. So that internal of a devotee can be understand when they start speaking. When they start speaking, then we understand whether this person is a devotee or not. We might can dress like a devotee, but once they started speaking, then only we know. So they will start speaking about, that person is like this person is like this. So then that is not a devotee. The symptom of a devotee means there is a higher purpose. The discussion will be for a higher purpose. So the discussion actually purifies whoever hears. So that way we can understand what is a symptom of a devotee. So, and also it is mentioned that whenever we discuss about a devotee, or when we read about a devotee, or when we chant, not just devotee, so when we chant about something or hear about something, so that means, so we acquire that quality. So, like for example, many kids will be more interested in reading Harry Potter's, right? So Harry Potter books, so they will read. So, and they try to imitate, right? So whatever that Harry Potter, when we read what happened, that actually the quality that we are taking, the quality, what that person, the personality who we are reading, that personality we will take, that 1% will come to us. So that is why what we read and what we study and what we hear, it is more important. So when we hear about Krishna, when we hear about his devotees, so then what happened, we also can get 1% of their quality. So when we read about the Bhakta Charitra of Haridas Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and our Acharyas, so when we read about them, when we hear about them, so then we see how their life went and how they are so eager to serve Krishna, how they are so compassionate about all the fallen souls. So when we read and hear about them, then that quality of humility, compassion, and mercy, all those will also come with us, so come to us. So that is the reason that we should, what we read and what we hear, it is so important. So it's not that it might be sometimes say that, like, okay, it is just like few minutes only I'm watching something or hearing something, it is just nothing. I'm not indulging in that. I know that this is all waste, but I'm just time pass, just 5 minutes. It's not going to spoil my consciousness. But actually, even a 2 minutes watch, like Ajamil, he just took 2 minutes, whatever that the prostitute was the another man. Just he watched 2 minutes, and that second, or not even 2 minutes, 2 seconds, that just by watching that momentary association by the eyes, he got spoiled. His consciousness completely spoiled, and the whole life he gets spoiled. So that is very clear that that's what, whatever we hear, it is not we should not be inattentive what we are hearing. And very important thing, that we should not hear a gossip. We should not chant a gossip, right? So sometimes in the name of Vaishno Aparat, so we think that, oh, some senior devotee is telling about something, and how can I avoid that? Even though he is complaining about someone, but still I cannot avoid, because he's senior devotee and I should not do a Vaishnava aparat, like not hearing him. So that is not correct. It is very dangerous of hearing someone about someone else, right? So sometimes it happens that new person comes to the temple, and if because different devotees will be in a different levels, so when they start hearing the criticism about, this management is so waste, like they are not doing anything, and then this devotee is not correct, and they're not doing DT dressing properly, like any complaints that a new person hear from some devotee who is already there, so then what kind of impression that the person will get, right? So immediately his consciousness will spoil, and then he will lose the interest. So it is very, very crucial, like what we are hearing, whom we are associating. So that's why we have to choose our association very, very carefully. It's not that, okay, whoever is wearing tilak and whoever is wearing kantimala, they are devotee and I will associate with everyone. Of course, we should respect everyone, because everyone is at a different level and everyone is practicing, and we should accept their good qualities because they are coming and chanting, that itself is a good quality in this Kali Yuga. So we should accept that. But at the same time, for association, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad says we should associate with the like-minded devotees and whoever is actually seriously practicing and who wants to really practice sincerely. Like, even though they are not to the level of a pure devotee, but still, if they are sincerely and seriously practicing, so then we can associate with those people. And if we associate with those people who are gossiping, so then we also get that quality. We also definitely we will, because we are hearing from the person who is always gossiping. And if we are associating with them, then definitely we also acquire that quality of gossiping, right? So sometimes we say that, oh no, I didn't speak anything, I'm just hearing only. So but just by hearing only, we are spoiling our consciousness, contaminating our consciousness. And also it is mentioned that it is in the karmic reaction also. What happened when we hear about someone, whoever is telling about like for example, the C personality, so the A personality is talking about C to B person. So what happened, the karma, whatever the bad karma the C person have, that will equally distributed to A person and also B person, because this person is telling something bad about that person, and also the B person is hearing. So we can't say that I'm just hearing, it will not impact me. So even for just hearing, that A person's bad karma is actually coming to these two personalities. So it is that danger. And also it is also mentioned that just by I think I already shared. So and everyone knows that the Rupa Goswami, yeah, Rupa Goswami only. So Rupa Goswami was meditating Radha Krishna's pastime, and then one Brahmana was walking, and then just by laughing, by seeing the Radha Krishna's pastime in his mind, he laughed. But this Brahmana got offended because I am walking like this, so he offended me. So he took that offense. Immediately that got disappeared. So the Radha Krishna's pastime disappeared. So, and then Rupa Goswami Pad, he went to Sanatana Goswami, what happened? Like, why it is got disappeared? And then he said, because you offended a Vaishnava. So that's why it is disappeared. So similarly, there is another pastime that where just by not even hearing nearby. So two people are talking some offensive talk, and then one person is just crossed. So he was just crossing, he heard something. So even for that, it is mentioned that our 10,000 lifetime good karma goes away just by hearing, in that past. So it is that serious. So it is not so easy. And there is one this message very virally came during the COVID time. So the pending file of Yamaraj. So this is a story where it tells that there was a king, and he wants to feed all the brahmanas. So he called all the brahmanas in that village, and he was like cooking so much. And because so many brahmanas came, he didn't have space to cook inside the kitchen, and then he also, and outside also cooking was going on very grandly. And then all the brahmanas came, and then everyone was distributed the prasadam, and everyone fed nicely. Then what happened at the end, like after they all ate, they all died. And all the brahmanas after death, so king was surprised, like what happened. So how it happened, like he was so much felt bad, because this is kind of killing a brahmana, so much sin, like what I will do, like I didn't mean to do it, like but how it happened. So he was feeling so sad. And then what happened, the Yamaraj, this file went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj was checking that, okay, so whom to give this reaction, because king, if we give, so king doesn't wantedly doing it, right? So he wants to feed the Vaishnavas, and he wanted to feed the Brahmanas. So he didn't have that intention of killing a Brahmana. So then Yamaraj said, okay, then we cannot give this to karmic reaction to king. So the actually what happened is how everyone dead is so they came to know that because they were cooking outside, and there was a eagle who was taking a dead snake crossed on that way, and somehow that the dead snake poison came into the dal what they are preparing, and that's why the poison came, and that's why all the brahmanas dead. So when this went to Yamaraj, and the Yamaraj was checking to whom this karmic reaction has to go. So first he said king, and then everyone was telling, no, Yamaraj, like what he did, he's very innocent. He was trying to serve everyone. And then he said, okay, maybe then we have to give this reaction to the cook. He have to be careful. So because he's not careful, so the poison went in. So then everyone said, no, like the cook is also might be what he might be done. Like he went just to take them some haldi and everything and came back. Meanwhile, it might be fall down. So it is not his mistake. Also, we cannot give to him also. Then Yamaraj said, okay, so then maybe to the eagle. Then everyone said, what eagle is doing here? Eagle was taking its own food and he is going on the way. So what he did? And then maybe to the snake. No, the snake also dead already. What the snake will do? So then Yamaraj said, okay, this is very complicated case. So let me put aside, and then we will think whom we can give the sinful reaction. And then what happened? One day, like Yamaraj said, I found out to whom to give. So then everyone was interested, like what happened, like who you are going to give. So then Yamaraj said, there was a flower lady in that village. So I'm going to give it to her. So then what she did? So what happened? There was another Brahmana, it's after some days, another Brahmana came and then he was asking, where is a king palace? I want to go to him. So then this flower lady was actually telling, oh, you're going to the king? Oh my God, you know what happened? So just 1 month before only he was doing this and he killed all the Brahmanas. Be careful, don't go there. Like that, she was laughing and telling. And then Yamaraj said, see, actually, the king not intentionally did. And king was feeling so bad. He did not feel so happy of about like these many brahmanas died. Like he didn't feel happy. He was feeling so sad. And everyone was surprised, like why it happened. Like they were all feeling so sad of all these incidents. But this lady, she was actually being happy for that incident. It's so sometimes this is called sinful activity. So when we do some sinful action, we feel pleasure, and that is a sinful attitude. So this lady, she was taking pleasure in someone's pain. So, and that is the reason that Yamara said all these brahmanas killing sinful reaction will go to that flower lady. So we can think about the power of gossip, the power of how much she doesn't do anything, but she just took a pleasure of talking someone about something bad. Just for that pleasure, she received such a sinful reactions. So then we can think about like if we talk so many things and so much pure devotees, if we talk about them, like what kind of reaction we will get, right? So and also I remember that I heard from Chaitanya Charitamrita that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if Jagai and Madai, after they become a pure devotee, so he said, if someone says about you bad, about your referring to your previous activity, then all your sinful reaction, what you accumulated, those all these things will go to them. And also, if someone is offending some Vaishnava like you, so those reaction, all your Jagai Madai reaction will go to them. That also he said. So we can think that how much we should be very careful of gossiping. It's very, very careful. We should not be very carelessly talk about, this person is like this devotee is like this. It's okay, like because it is Kali Yuga, everyone have fault. So find like in a going in a boat and everywhere there is a water and saying that see there is a water, there is nothing much make sense. Because you are in water, then there is a water. So similarly, we are in Kali Yuga, there will be fault. So always pointing out the fault, this is not correct, that is not correct. So instead of that, see the good qualities. See the good qualities in everyone. That is very important. And so why we are talking? Because the power of speech, like the conversation between two people, how much it is very important, and what we are hearing is very important. So and another thing also, there is a one time one devotee was explaining about this power of speech, like how much what we speak and what we hear is so much conducive for our bhakti path. Like he was explaining so detailed. And then what happened, like one of the devotee in that group, like he came at the end of the class and he said, Prabhuji, I think the way that you describe the power of speech, I think you are exaggerating. It is like people here and they will leave here, this side, and they will go, like they will not care. So what is going to be there? Like you are saying power of speech is so important. So then this Prabhu said, okay, so then you come tomorrow. So tomorrow is the second part of the power of speech, so you can come and listen. And then the second day, the devotee came, and then this devotee was started speaking. And then in middle of the class, so he said, um, uh, excuse me, devotees, that can you please give some place for that devotee who is sitting there. He is little manda buddhi. He cannot understand if he sit in the back. So maybe he can come in front so that he can understand properly. So then this devotee didn't know what to say, and then he came and sat. And then after the class is over, so then this devotee went to that person who talked about that the power of speech, and he asked, okay, so how about the class today? How did you like? And then this devotee was so mad. What you took? I didn't even understand anything. How come you can say me Banda Buddhi and in front of everyone? And from that time onwards, I cannot listen whatever you are saying. I was so agitated in 2 hours. Like I was thinking about how come this person talk about me like this. So you said power of speech is nothing, but just that one word agitates you, and the whole 2 hours you cannot listen Harikatha, and you are thinking about that only. So now you understand the power of speech. So then this devotee accept, okay, yes. So that is why in Tamil also there is a proverb. Teenal suttapun ullarum arade, navinal suttavadu. So that means in the if someone got hurt by the fire, so that will go someday after, like initially it will be painful and then later it will go. But someone get the pain by the words, by the tongue, then what happened? They cannot forget. Even many years, they will say, you spoke this words, this like this 10 years before to me. So because that much is uh, the power of speech, like what we are speaking. So that's why we should be very careful, and we should engage our tongue in not gossiping, but about chanting about Krishna's holy name and speaking about Krishna Katha. And what we hear is also should be about Krishna Katha and about the glorification of the devotees. We should not hear the gossip and all these things. And we are not just harming them, and we are harming ourselves and our consciousness and our bhakti lata. So we are already trying so hard. We are struggling in our bhakti. So much we are struggling. And whatever we accumulate also will be gone just by talking about others. What we are going to do by just talking about others. Right? So that is very important. So that's why Rupa Goswami says in the second verse of Nectar of Instruction, Atyahara Prayasasha Prajalpa Niyamagraha. It says that these are all not conducive to devotional service. Atyahara, Prayasasha, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, Janasangascha, Laulimcha, Shadbhir, Bhaktir, Vinashyati. He says Bhakti will go when we do Prajalpa. So Prajalpa is very danger. And then, and also another way of talk that generally people will do. I was hearing, so all these I heard from Nitai Sevni Mataji. It was so amazing. This one point stuck me so much. So this is a pastime in Mahabharat. In Mahabharat, what happened, like one time Yudhishthira Maharaj was disarmed by Karna. So in the war, it's not in the Kurukshetra war, but it is not mentioned in the details. But in Mahabharat, this incident happened that Yudhishthira Maharaj was disarmed by Karna, and then somehow the chariot driver safely took back Yudhishthira Maharaj to the palace. So when Arjuna heard about this, and Arjuna came to Yudhishthira Maharaj and he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, like, what happened? How are you? And then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, did Karna died? So Arjuna said, no, I just heard that you got disarmed by Karna. So that I just came to ask you, how are you? So then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, are you not ashamed? You are a Kshatriya. If you heard that your brother got disarmed, and you should be angry and you should go and kill him, and then you come and say that Arjuna, actually Karna died. So that is actually Kshatriya. What is, you are a Kshatriya? You don't have a quality of a Kshatriya. You put your arms, put your bow and arrow down. You don't have the quality to take that. So then what happened? Arjuna actually took a vow that if someone says to put the Gandiva down, then he will kill that person. So that is a vow that he took. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj is his brother. How can he kill him? So he got so much distressed. And then whenever Arjuna distressed, he's a devotee, he went to Krishna. So Krishna, he said, Krishna, that this happened, that now I cannot kill my Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, but I am then going out of my vow. So let me die. Let me suicide. So then Krishna said, no, see, if you want to kill Yudhishthira Maharaj, you cannot kill. So, but if you can go and chastise a respectable person, so that insulting words itself is killing a person. So you go and chastise him. So in that way, your vow will be saved. You are not killing, but also you are chastising him. In that way, he feel that he is killed. So then Arjuna went and then he chastised, like, how come you can say? And he was chastised so much. And then what happened again? Arjuna came back to Krishna and said, I chastised, but how come I can chastise my brother? I did a big insult to my brother. I feel so bad. I should not do this. No, let me suicide. Then, uh, then actually Krishna said, what, Arjuna, like all that time, like this is kind of in Mahabharata, so many times Arjuna will say, no, I don't want to go into war. Let me suicide and all those things. So then Krishna said, okay, let me tell you, this is very powerful. So please hear very attentively. So Krishna said, so if you go, so there is a way that you don't have to physically suicide, but there is a way that you, if you do this, is equal to suicide. So then what Krishna said is so interesting, that if you go and self-prize yourself, so you go and tell that, I am such a great devotee and I do this, and no one can do this. I am the only person who have the ability to do this. So you put a drum and you explain about yourself, self-prize yourself. That is equal to suicide. So when I was hearing, it is so much stuck, like how much sometimes people do all the time self-price, right? So they go and they go to devotee, like I am such a great devotee, no one knows about me, like, so this is actually equal to suicide. So this is also one of the way that we talk, which we should avoid. So that's why I'm taking, so because this kind of talk, which is not beneficial for others, by hearing our glorification, what others is going to get. So if we glorify Krishna or his pure devotees, so they will get purified and we will get purified. If we talk about ourselves, glorifying ourselves, what we will get pride, and others will also get irritated and annoyed. What this person always talking about them only. So this is kind of a very important instruction. I felt like, so we should be very careful what we talk and what we listen. So and we should hear also the way, whatever it is conducive for our bhakti path. And here, whenever pure devotees talk, definitely that is about Krishna only. So that is why we should associate with those people who are very sincere in discussing Krishna Katha. When devotees come together, that means they are discussing Krishna Katha. It should not be for about talking about others, right? So when someone says something bad about others, then try to avoid, move from that place. It's okay, like, don't feel that they will get offended. Just try to say, I'm sorry, I have to go now. So we can move on. So otherwise it will be very danger for our bhakti lata. So then we have to take that person karmic reaction to us also. Already we have lot of karmic reaction, so we are trying to get out of all those things. So why to unnecessarily take others karmic reactions? And the way that we react also, it's very important, that because complaining, it is also one of the way that we talk. So not just gossiping, so complaining about someone. So in complaining, this was also I heard that one time in Prabhupada, uh, Prabhupada was some Matajis made kachoris, and then so Prabhupada had that kachoris and he said, so tasty, I like this kachori, so keep something for me tomorrow. So, and then this person went and he told the Mataji, please keep this in the kitchen, this additional kachori. So Prabhupada wants to eat tomorrow. And then this Mataji said, no, Prabhu, this is temple. I can't guarantee because someone will come and eat. So I can't guarantee, I can't keep it safe. And this Prabhu said, I don't know, you have to keep it safe. And then Prabhu went. And the next day he came and see the kitchen and it is not there. And then he asked Mataji, where is that kachori? So she said, I don't know. I told, right? This is a temple. We can't able to say anything, like someone came and ate it. And then now Prabhupada will be asking like what I can say. This Mataji said, say cat ate. Cat ate the kachori. So, and then this Prabhu went and told Prabhupada that cat ate the kachori. So Prabhupada said, the person who told cat ate the kachori, that person only ate. So, and then immediately this Prabhu came and said, Mataji, you know what Prabhupada said? This is what he said. So now this Mataji might reacted so angrily, because how come Prabhupada can say that I am serving him so nicely and why do I have to take Prabhupada's kachori and eat? So she did not say that. What is the problem now? Kachori is a problem. Let me make it. Let me make it and give. So she immediately. So from this we can also understand that if we want to find a fault, so now she could have complained Prabhupada. Why Prabhupada is doing, I am doing so much for Prabhupada and he is complaining about me, he is talking bad about me just for kachori. So she might talk or complain about Prabhupada, but she did not react in that way. So this is what we should do. So we should not fight for small things all the time, like this should not happen, like that should not happen. See a bigger picture. When we have a bigger picture of our bigger goal, then we will not complain for small things. Then we will not find fault for small things. We will be happy in the bigger goal. So in attaining that bigger goal. So fault will be there, but just help each other. So like earlier also, I discussed that when our house set in fire, so if some like or place where all the devotees are there, when the set in fire, the place set in fire. So that time we will not think, oh, this devotee is not a good devotee, that devotee is not a good devotee. We will not think about that. Let me escape, and if I can help someone to escape, we will do it, right? So that is how we should do this. Kali Yuga, everyone will have fault. We should not talk about that and highlight that. Instead of that, we can talk about their good qualities. And when we talk about other good qualities, that means we also get that quality if we are not possessing. And if we are talking about bad quality, that means we also have that bad quality. And that is why we can able to find the bad quality in others. So very clearly, like Mataji said, Nitai Sevani Mataji always says that, so when we wear the red glass and see others, it will look red only, everything. If we wear a blue glass and see everyone, it will be blue, everything. So same thing, if we see fault in others, that means that fault is in me. Let me correct first myself, and then we will think about others. So that is what, like, we have to see so the main point, like in this verse, actually it talks about the way that how two people speak, that will determine what kind of a personality they are, right? So that is a main point, that why we are discussing all these things, that uh, we can understand the symptom of a devotee by their talk, what they are talking. So we should associate with those person who discuss Krishna Katha all the time. Whenever we go, so we should see that devotees will ask, like, generally it's okay, how are you, and all these things, it's okay. But more than that, unnecessary talk we should avoid. Prajalpa, Gramya Katha we should avoid. And we should ask, like, what are you reading nowadays? What lecture you recently heard, what inspires you now. So that kind of association we should have. So we should not have everyone as a devotee, whoever puts tilak, oh, they are devotee, let me go and speak. So it is very important to see carefully our association, because that will impact our bhakti also. So that's the main point I learned from this Srila Prabhupada's purport. So thank you so much again for giving this opportunity. Please correct me if anything wrong, and please share or any questions or comments. Thank you so much.
Oh, hi, Bo. You speak very nicely about relationship between devotee, how not to offend the devotees. A very very good example. It's very nice class. So this is so sweet. Like we always hear the devotee talking about each other. So I've been in the moment, for over 4.5 decades or something. That doesn't stop. Like devotee always criticizing, especially people who are in management, people who are the position. Always some other devotees will always find some fault. Even senior devotee will, like you said, even they've been in the movement for 50 years, Prabhupada disciple, they still criticize, find fault in the devotees. So if offenses is so dangerous for our spiritual advancement, you know, why, like a lot of devotees, they still like don't get it and just keep on doing it, even after being years and years practicing bhakti. What would you say about it?
Yeah, so thank you, Mataji, for your very nice question. So yeah, definitely it is not the years of practice will make us a perfect, right? So it is actually how sincerely we are practicing. So even though the person can be in the movement for many years, but and this is the nature of every jiva, because of our condition, right? So we are here in this material world, and this material world is lust, greed, angry, pride, and ego and envy. Because of the enviness only, we criticize others. If we see someone is growing very nicely, immediately we get envy and we start telling something bad about them and pulling them down. So this tendency is a conditioned nature of every jiva. And as we discussed, that ISKCON is actually a hospital. Prabhupada always says ISKCON is a hospital. So everyone is a patient, and every patient in a different levels of cureness. So someone is curing very fast, someone is curing very slow, and it all depends on how much serious they are practicing and how much baggage of karma they have. So it all depends on that. So that's why, like, sometimes we see many years people will be coming, but they are still have the tendency. It is because they are not reading Srila Prabhupada books. Sometimes this is the most of the reason. The main reason it might be because if they are not reading Srila Prabhupada books, that clearly shows that they are not serious. And those people read Srila Prabhupada books, still they are not taking. That means they are reading as a ritual. So because I have to read, I am reading. So there is no introspection is happening. So there is no serious absorption in reading is happening. So just as a ritual, if we do, we can go on doing. So that's why Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he says that if we want to chant, like if you are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and if we are offending all the Vaishnavas, and we can do even 64 rounds or 128 rounds. We can keep on doing all the deity worship. Everything can be done, but we can never go back to Krishna, because these are all we are doing as a ritual. We are not doing as a with a devotion. We are not doing to better ourselves, right? So if we are not doing in that mood, in that attitude, then we will not get cured faster, because we are diseased. We have to get cured. If we are understanding that we have to get cure in that mood, if we study, if in that mood if we associate, then we will try to correct ourselves. But if someone is thinking that I am all right, I am chanting, and I got initiation, Brahman initiated, everything is done, so now I don't have to worry about anything, I will just do whatever I want, so that means they are not serious. So those kind of devotees only we can see that they will complain about others, so they taking pleasure in talking about others. So that is all because of the disease, that they are still not cured. But we should help them. If we see someone like that, we should try to help them if it is possible. And if we are in that position to help, we can do that. Otherwise, just we can do our job, so that will not, so that we can be protected.
Thank you very much. In this regard, I read like an excerpt that I just read from Prabhupada about, he said, I'm going to read this for everybody. Suppose you are in this Krishna conscious society. Now you cannot expect that all the members of the society will be first class men. How can we expect? We are all collecting members of the society from all classes of men. So there may be a man in goodness, a man in passion, a man in ignorance. But if you think, oh, this man is not good, that man is not good. Oh, no.
Hi, this is part of our new monsoon menu, and it is called rasam.
You should be tolerant. You haven't got any connection with this man or that man. You're connected with a philosophy, with a process of life, and you're connected. Just like the same example. Suppose you're on a ship. You do not find just all men to your choice. There may be different kinds of men, but what is that to you? You have to cross the Atlantic Ocean, patiently cross. Just sit down tightly on the ship and take advantage of the opportunity. That is your business. I think that is very related, like we should not just judge people. This one, this devotee is not good, this devotee is not good, this one is like that or like that. We have to fix our consciousness in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, in the process of Krishna consciousness.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That was a like Srila Prabhupada lecture in New York, January 3, 1967. He gave this lecture.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And this one related to this, we discussed that when we have affair with Krishna, then if you want to marry Krishna, so then Krishna will say, my family have different type of people, then you have to adjust with everyone. So one devotee will be angry devotee, one devotee will be like this. So you have to adjust. Like if we want to really go back to Krishna, so we have to accept his whole family without any complaint. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. Wonderful class. Really, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. I also appreciated Mother Golokananda Priya's comment and question. When I was hearing you talk, my mind immediately went and said, "Oh, who else is listening to this class? Because I really wish so and so could hear this, right?" And then right away, exactly what you were preaching about, I realized that my mind went to a different place because I was thinking about somebody else and I wasn't thinking about me. That I'm actually meant to hear this message. This message is meant for me, and it's just so. The mind is so fickle, and that we always think these things are for other people, but they're really for ourselves. And that is what I took from this, is how I need to, in order to change to change the society, to change the world, to change others, I first have to adhere to this principle. And and therefore I thank you. I thank you for bringing this up, and you know, it's a great class. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your beautiful realization. This is a very true, honest realization. That itself says your sincerity. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
As I was listening to the class, my husband walked by and he said, the same thing is said every day. But it's still, I think he was trying to make a point to me. But the point is, this is something we need to hear very regularly. It is a simple point. It's not that we have not heard it before, but it's like Prabhu was saying, turning that mirror back towards ourselves. It takes a lot of effort. And so thank you for bringing that point out of this verse.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji, so nice. And how Mataji was saying, like Subarade Mataji, we have to listen it every day. And actually, it's become more sweeter when we hear from different devotees. I feel like it's one speaking more sweeter than others. And I really like it. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much. So Prabhupada always many times he repeated same thing again and again in his purport also, the Vaishnava Parat and Vishnu. So when we hear at least again and again, this Manda Buddhi will actually try to react, and one day it will try to correct. So that is the reason that Prabhupada always says, so it is all for all of us. So when we think that it is for me, Prabhupada is saying, then we start looking and correcting ourselves. So
yeah, I find it for me, Mataji. How Dronacharya Prabhu was saying it is for him. I found it is for me. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Very nice class, very practical. I also find something very valuable that is a reminder to me. Before someone used to criticize about someone else in front of me, and to
Your voice is not audible, Mataji.
not even listen to the criticism.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
This is one thing, Shyamalaji, you are telling everybody in this class or anywhere, if you give this class, if we ourselves, we always feel, oh, what I did, I must have talked that day. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. So correcting myself. And my mother used to say that if you are showing one finger to somebody, 3 fingers are showing you.
Mm-hmm.
Correct yourself first.
Yeah.
So that is something is there, like every day we listen to this. Again, some way, after all, we're human beings, we commit the mistake again. So like
when
you
this
said,
kind of thought comes, so then immediately we should think,
Syamala
whether I have this, let me first think about it and then talk about going out. Yeah.
So like that, though we hear every day, we are human beings and sometimes we do mistakes, but we need to keep hearing, keep correcting ourselves. That's all.
At least we hear multiple times, that it reminds us when that kind of thought comes.
Yeah, that's true. It reminds us. Thank you very much. Nice class.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. So please bless whatever I speak so I can practically implement. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
I also, it was very important to know that when we hear the criticism about others from other person, that we also get karma. I didn't know about that. So
Oh,
that is
yeah. Of course, we do have.
that is really good to know.
Yeah, so I heard about taking the karma of the people, we were talking about it. Even we heard about it, sometimes we don't even care because that we have such bad habit
Yeah.
of hearing things that we don't need to hear. And we keep on hearing. We need a lot of purification.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have to
Chakal.
leave. Vanchakalpatrupasha kripa
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
and the Koti Vaishnava Jai
Yeah.
Jagat Ki Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.